Hi friends, I just got back from a trip to the Great Hoover Dam, and I've always wanted to see the Hoover Dam. I've always been fascinated with enormous things, and I store random facts in my head about the biggest, widest, tallest, highest versions of stuff, and dams are a subcategory of that. It was a fantastic adventure, and me and my wife made a video about it. That will be going up soon. Whenever it is available, I will link it here and below. This thing is absolutely enormous. When we parked our car on the Arizona side, we had to walk down to the dam and across a bridge that goes over the top of one of the spillways, one of the emergency spillways, which hasn't been used since 1982. The water level is actually pretty low right now. But just the spillway, the basin that the water falls into, and then the enormous tunnel that it runs down into through the mountain and out the other end of the mountain, downstream from the dam, was enormous. It blew my face off a little bit. This is actually a temporary face held on by double-sided tape. Now, it is hard to capture that enormity in a photo, but boy did I try. Here are a few photos that I took at the dam, and I want to talk about how I went about taking them. And this is the first one that was actually shot with my iPhone. One major point about this photo is that I was trying to give a sense of the enormity of the dam, and using a wide angle helped me accomplish this well. I think putting the top of the frame right at the top of the mountains, and then showing as much of the dam, the expanse of the dam as possible, led towards this goal of communicating the hugeness. Another thing that helped this photo was creating a sense of depth, and one of the ways I did that was by allowing this foreground piece on the bottom right-hand corner to be there, the top of the dam. It allows our brains to develop a relationship of what is near and what is far. Another thing I love about the dam itself is that you have these towers shooting off the front of it. It looks like some sort of Helm's Deep castle situation. I think this photo has a very straight and well-balanced geometric quality to it. Another thing I paid attention to was the edges of the frame. If you look, nothing comes into the frame in a weird way. It feels quite intentional. Even the power line in the top left corner, sort of half of it comes in, but nothing's poking in a way that feels awkward or misplaced. I allowed the tower closest to us on the right side to breathe a little bit from the edge, which I think worked out well. The light dynamic in this photo is interesting to me. The brightest point is actually the mountain in the back, and I think that splash of light is pleasing and intriguing in this photo. I also think the dam is bright enough in the foreground to sort of stand on its own, and everything feels like it's balanced right. One more technique that was used kind of subconsciously in this photo, I'm just now realizing it, is I did not show the bottom of the dam, which gives this feeling that it just keeps going, which it does in fact just keep going. That's the vibe that you get when you're there. You look over the edge and you're like, when's the bottom gonna happen? Like I said, this was taken with an iPhone, and this is the type of dynamic that one can pull off well with an iPhone if you know what you're doing. Now on to the second photo. The first photo was edited in ViscoCam, by the way. These next two photos were edited using my presets in Lightroom, which you too can have. This photo is the complete opposite of the previous photo in many respects. I used a long lens instead of a wide lens, and I shot it in portrait orientation instead of landscape orientation. In this case, I used the portrait orientation to create a sense of hugeness by having him be very small at the top of the frame, and the rest of the frame is the dam going down. And also at the bottom, you can see I did the same thing where I have a foreground element very close to create a sense of depth. I think filling most of the frame with the dam and having him at the top makes it seem like he's standing on top of this massive wall, which in fact he was. An interesting point about the long lens here, because I was further away from him and the way that I shot this allowed him to be a smaller part of the frame, and then the environment surrounded him. Now you can do this with a wider lens too, but it's just a different type of dynamic. And obviously having a person in the frame at all naturally creates a sense of scale. Our brain knows how big a person is and can naturally do the math when this person is surrounded by something enormous. Using these techniques are a way to elicit an emotional response, just like when you're watching a movie and maybe they're using this nice drone of music to create a sense of suspense. Sorry, I had to get a sip of coffee. In this photo, we have a picture from the top of the dam of one of the agents that would patrol. They were actually really serious about security at the Hoover Dam. Lots of water, a concrete wall, reasonable. But one of the things that I think is a thread throughout all of these photos is the intentional use of geometry and architecture. Being thoughtful about that will take your photos a long way. In this photo we have lots of leading lines and angles and round angles and such. This is made easy by the crazy architecture that is the Hoover Dam, which was built in the 1930s. One of my favorite things about the aesthetic of this photo is the dynamic of having a single person, a single interesting person, as opposed to a group of people. And also I think seeing his face was important. When I was taking this photo there were maybe 5 or 6 shots. I got a couple of him looking away, and the one of him looking at me was the one that I wanted, and I think it worked out well. This photo and the previous one are great examples of using a person to tell the story of a location. If you want to tell the story of a place, there are many ways to do it, but one that I find particularly intriguing is using the emotional quality that is a human being interacting with that environment. It allows you to tell the story of that person as well as the location, as well as their relationship with that location. And as humans, we relate to other humans in a very visceral way. That was a good thought. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Please feel free to engage below. I will engage with you. I hope you have a lovely day. And if you get the chance, go visit the Hoover Dam. It is a wonderful experience. Goodbye.